चलो, number of distinct pairs of integers mn satisfying 1 plus mn less than mod of 1 plus mn less than mod of mn m plus n less than 5 is what? दो चीजें हैं इसमें. पहली चीज is talking about distinct pairs. What does distinct pair means? Okay, supposing a b is one solution, that means b a will be another solution. So अगर आपका a b solution है तो b a will be, so the total number of solutions will be even. Now supposing choices होती, I would have used that to eliminate choices, and that the number of the answer is going to be even only. Okay, but the second thing, if this is 5, the maximum value of this will be 4, and the maximum value of mod of 1 plus mn has to be 3. What should you do? Start making cases. Many times people just try to do hit and trial in a random manner. Random नहीं करना, जो भी करेंगे systematically करेंगे. Okay, so let's look at it. If 1 plus mn mod has to be 3, what is the maximum value of mn? Maximum value of mn will be 2 and minimum value of mn will be minus 4. So that means mn जो है minus plus 2 से minus 4 के बीच में घूमेगा. Start making cases, you will get the answer. Okay, now let's look at this one. Okay, this has to be 3 and mn has to vary from plus 2 to minus 3. So शुरू कर देते हैं. mn is equal to 2. Then what are the possible values of m and n? And hence what will be mod of 1 plus mn and what will be mod of m plus n. We want this to be strictly correct. And हमें मालूम है mod of m plus n की maximum value is 4. Okay, चलो, let's start doing that. So if this is 2, what are the possible? 1 into 2 or 2 into 1? Okay, if it is 1 into 2, this becomes 3 because mn is 2, so 2 plus 1, 3. And what will be mod of m plus n? 3. Not correct because it is equality, we want less. Okay, if it is 1 is the only possibility. So this becomes 1 plus 1, 2, and 1 plus 1, 2, again incorrect. 0, mn equal to 0. That means, let's say m is 1, 0. 1 and 0, mn is, so this mod of 1 plus mn, and mod of 1 plus 0 will be, okay, yeah. And 1 plus 0, 1. Not possible. 2, 0. Okay. 2, 0 means 1 again. And what is this? 2. This is satisfying. Okay. Similarly, if I look at 3, 0, this is still 1 and this will be 3. Satisfies. 4, 0. This will be 1 because 4 into 0 and this becomes 4. Satisfies. The highest possible value of a mod plus mn can be 4. तो इसके आगे मुझे 5 देखने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. तो so far I have got these 3 possibilities. 3 possibilities or 6 possibilities? 6 possibilities. Why 6? Because अगर 0, 2, 2, 0 है तो 0, 2 will also satisfy. 0, 3 will also satisfy. 4, 0 will also satisfy. So how many solutions? 6. No, not 6. क्यों? क्योंकि यही चीज माइनस पे भी तो आ सकती है. Okay. Let's look at minus 2. Minus 2 into 0. Okay. Let me just write it separately. Let me not write it here. Okay. Okay. Now, if I look at mn as minus 2, 0. Because मैं 0 के साथ खेल रहा हूँ. mn is minus 2, 0. What will be this? This will still be 1. Mod of 1 plus mn. And what will be mod of m plus n? Minus 2 plus 0, 2. Similarly, so I can say this can be plus minus 2, plus minus 3, plus minus 4. Okay. So how many values have we got already? We have got, okay. Okay. And let me remove this also. Yeah. So we have got 2, 4, 6 values into 2, 12. So this is giving me 12 solutions. Why 12 solution? 2, 0, minus 2, 0. 0, 2, 0, minus 2. So मेरे पास 6 solution आ गए हैं इसके अंदर. ठीक है, चलो आगे देख लेते हैं. Okay, because at each place what is happening, mn is equal to 0. In all of them, mn is equal to 0. Okay. Now what we need to look at, we said mn can go up to, the smallest value of mn will be minus 4. Check कर लेते हैं इसमें. Okay, let me just erase some of these things which are not so relevant now. Okay. Okay. So we have removed this. Okay. Now let's look at the next one. 0 आ गया, minus 1. If there is minus 1, there is only one possibility, 1 and minus 1 or minus 1 and 1. And if it is mn is minus 1, this becomes 0. What will this become? 1 minus 1, 0. Not possible. Minus 2. And if it is minus 2, again the only possibility is 1 into 2 or minus 1 into 2, whichever case you want to look at. 1 into minus 2 ले लेते हैं, ठीक है. So they become 1 minus 2, 1. Mod of 1 minus 2 minus 1 is 1. And what will be m plus n? Minus 2 plus 1, 1. Incorrect. Minus 3. Minus 3 means 1 minus 3. And if I have 1 minus 3, this becomes minus 3 plus 1 is 2. And this will be again 3 minus 1, 2. And the next case will be 4 minus 4, 1 minus 4. And then when I say 1 plus mn minus 4, it is 3. Okay, and mn cannot be more than 3. Mod of 1 plus mn cannot be more than 3. तो ये भी केस निकल जाते हैं. हाँ, some of you may want to check further कि भाई minus 4 can even be 2 into minus 2. Check कर लेते हैं. If you have doubt, please check. Spending 30 seconds extra is not going to be a big problem because spending those 30 seconds extra could give you the right answer. But if you have doubt, only then. So if I say 2 minus 2, 4 होता है. This is 2 minus 4. 2 minus 2. If I make 2 minus 2, what does it become? 1 plus minus 4 is 3. And this becomes 0. So no. So how many solutions are there? 12 solutions out here. And for such question, my recommendation always will be, one way to always look at it is mn has to be less than m plus n. That is one way to do. But if you have doubts, please, the simple jugaad of writing down all cases will give you the answer. इसमें हिचकिचाहट मत करो, start writing down and you will be able to get the answer. And the starting point here, if you have to write down, is this cannot be more than 4, this cannot be less than 3. And hence we find different possible values of mn and start checking. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? mn has to be from minus 4 to plus 2. Okay, so those 7 cases what you need to check, and numbers आसान है, छोटे हैं, जल्दी कैंसिल हो जाएंगे. For all possible integers satisfying this equation, the number of integer values of this are how many? Okay, now पहली चीज इसके अंदर we can start from this or this, does not matter. But इसमें पहली चीज जो मुझे करना है कि ये integer होना चाहिए. This has to be an integer. If this has to be an integer, what does that mean? ये तो integer है. That means 3 to power n plus 1 has to be an integer. Okay. If 3 to power n plus 1 has to be an integer, then what is the smallest value of n plus 1? Because the smallest integer value of 3 to power n will be 3 to power 0, which is equal to 1. If 3 to power minus 1 will be 1 by 3, which is not an integer. That means मेरे को क्या चाहिए है? n plus 1 की smallest value has to be 0. That means the small, so this means n plus 1 has to be greater than or equal to 0. n plus 1 should be greater than or equal to 0. That means n should be greater than or equal to minus 1, or the smallest value of n is going to be minus 1 out here. Okay, so यहाँ से मुझे ये पता चल जाता है कि this tells me that n has to be greater than or equal to minus 1. Okay, minus 1 का मतलब 3 to power 0, so 3 plus 1 4. Okay, now let's come here. Okay, look at this. What is this 2.25 plus 2? काम करो ना दोनों. Please subtract 2 from all three, or from each of the 3. What does this become? 0.25 less than equal to 2 to power n plus 2 less than equal to 200. Okay, what does 2 and express everything in terms of power of 2. 0.25 क्या हुआ? 1 by 4. 0.25 is equal to 1 by 4, which is nothing but 1 by 2 square, या 2 to power minus 2. So this is 2 to power minus 2 less than equal to 2 to power n plus 2. And what will this be? 2 to power 7, 128. 2 to power 8 has to be 256. What does that mean? This has to be less than equal to 2 to power 7. क्योंकि अगर 2 to power 8 जाएंगे, if this is 2 to power 8, then this goes beyond 200. So मेरे को effectively this is the equation which I get now. Okay. Now you can check again. So what is the smallest value of n as per this? Okay. That means if I look at this part, n plus 2 should be greater than or equal to minus 2. n plus 2 should be greater than or equal to minus 2. या उल्टा लिख देता हूँ मैं इसमें. Okay. Yeah. So minus 2 should be less than or equal to n plus 2. Okay. So what can you say about n? Subtract 2 from both sides. Minus 4 less than or equal to n. कोई फायदा नहीं, मेरे को तो पता है n has to be greater than or equal to minus 1. So इससे मेरे को पता चल गया my start will be from n equal to minus 1. Right hand side पे आ जाते हैं. What does this tell me? This portion tells me n plus 2 should be less than or equal to 7, और n should be less than equal to 7 minus 2 5. So n की क्या values होंगी? That means n can be -1 0 +1 +2 +3 +4 +5. These are the possible values of n. मगर एक चीज कच्ची है ना, this has to be an integer. Let's check. Okay, let's check. If n is equal to -1, 3 to power 0, which is, so this becomes 4. n is equal to 0, that means 3 plus 3 6. n equal to 1, n equal to 1, 3 square 9. सब में integer ही आएगा ना, because if n is an integer which is greater than -1, मेरे को ये पूरा करने की जरूरत नहीं थी. I would have straight away said that means values of n are from -1 to 5. How many values? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the answer is going to be 7 values of n. Okay. All possible values of, okay, the number of integers, values of this. So how many integer values are there? The number of integer values will be 7. Okay, and you can look at this. You can do this completely, but करने की जरूरत नहीं है. ये भी जो मैंने किया था was to help you understand. But because the moment you have said n has to be greater than equal to -1, okay. So the ideally paper में क्या करना था मुझे? What should I have done the moment I got that n has to be less than equal to 5. That means n has to start from -1 and go up to +5. How many values are these? 7. Because n, if it is greater than -1, integer तो आएगा ही आएगा मेरे को. So my answer had to be 7. This is what I should have straight away done instead of checking. मेरे को check नहीं करना था इसमें. The number of integers that satisfy this inequality is how many? Okay. ऐसे जितने उतना I always break it into 2 parts. I will look at two of them separately. 1 and 2. ठीक है, एक एक करके चलते हैं. पहला ले लेते हैं mod of n minus 60 less than mod of n minus 100. Okay. अब एक बात बताओ, what is the midpoint of 60 and 80? Average of 60 and 80 or the 60 or sorry 100. Average of 60 and 100. Or the midpoint of 60 and 100 is 80. इसका क्या मतलब हुआ? If n is equal to 80, what will the left hand side become? If n is equal to 80, this becomes 20, this becomes 20. Equal हो जाएंगे ना, because if n is right in the middle, then both of them will be equal. But हमें क्या चाहिए? We want right hand side to be bigger. If this has to be bigger, what does that mean? N should become less than 80, because again n less than 80 हुआ, it will go away from 100. If it is moving away from 100, this distance will be lesser than this. So पहली चीज यहाँ पे दिख जानी चाहिए है, and the basic job is to remember the midpoint. If I am looking at this particular thing, I will straight away start by saying this implies n has to be less than 80. Why less than 80? 100 plus 60. 160 divided by 2, 80. 80 is the midpoint. 80 पे दोनों बराबर हो जाएंगे. At 80 both will be equal. Since I want right hand side to be bigger, that means n should be less than 80. For example, if n is 79, left hand side becomes 19, right hand side becomes 21. If n is 81, left hand side becomes 21, right hand side becomes 19. I hope this explains why n should be moving towards 60. Okay, तो एक जो चीज हो गई that n has to be less than 80. चलो यही चीज दूसरे पे कर देते हैं. Let's look at the other one also. Which is the other one? This one. That n minus 100 mod has to be less than mod of n minus 20. अब तो मालूम है ना क्या करना है? What is the average of 120? 120 by 260. Okay. So at n equal to 60, LHS will be equal to RHS. At n equal to 60, दोनों बराबर होंगे ना? 60 minus 100 is mod of 40, minus 40 and mod of 40. Both will be equal. हमें क्या चाहिए? We want left hand side to be bigger. If left hand side has to be bigger, when will that happen? When n will be greater than 60. Okay? Because at n equal to 60 बराबर होने, left hand side will become bigger when n is greater than 60. Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. उल्टा बोल दिया मैंने. उल्टा बोल दिया. At n equal to 60, left hand side is equal to right hand side. We want right hand side to be bigger. If right hand side has to be bigger, then n has to be further away from 20, यानी 60 से ज़्यादा होना चाहिए. This implies n should be greater than 60. Now look at both these things together. N greater than 60 and n less than 80. दोनों सेटिस्फाई हो जाएंगे ना, बिकॉज n ग्रेटर देन 6, n लेस देन 80 पे दिस वन सेटिस्फाइज, n लेस देन 60 पे ये आ जाएगा, ग्रेटर देन 60 पे दूसरा आ जाएगा. सो व्हाट इज द वैल्यूज? दैट मींस 60 लेस देन n लेस देन 80. व्हाट आर द पॉसिबल वैल्यूज? 61 to 79. How many values are these? 61 to 79 are 19 values. So such question it is useful to break it into two parts, and ये midpoint वाला फंडा याद रखो, हमेशा काम आ जाता है. X and y are non-negative integers such that x plus y equal to z, y plus 1 equal to z, and x plus y is less than z plus y. Then the maximum possible value of 2x plus y equal to लीनियर इक्वेशन सब्स्टिट्यूट करो, आंसर निकालो, ज्यादा दिमाग नहीं लगाना. x plus 9 is z, हमें क्या दिया? x plus y is z plus 5. ठीक है. So if I look at this first equation, x plus y is equal to z. इसका क्या मतलब हुआ? Sorry, not x plus y, x plus 9 equal to z. गलत लिख दिया मैंने. Okay. So x plus 9 equal to z, that means z will be equal to, यार उल्टा लिख रहा हूँ, x ले लेते हैं. x will be equal to z minus 9. सेकेंड चीज क्या? y plus 1 equal to z. So what is z? Y equal to z minus 1. Now हमें ये पता चल गया x and y सब्स्टिट्यूट करो ना तीसरी इक्वेशन में. We know that x plus y is less than z plus 5. What is x? Z minus 9. Y? Z minus 1. So using these two, can I not say 2z minus 10 is equal to z plus 5? So, sorry, not equal to, is less than. Okay, 2z minus 10 is less than z plus 5. So क्या मतलब हो गया? Z should be less than 15. Okay, z is less than 15. Okay, चलो ये तो क्लियर हो गया, z has to be less than 15. चलो अब अगली चीज पे आ जाते हैं. We want the maximum possible value of these. अगर मुझे इसकी maximum value चाहिए है, if I want x and y to be maximum, should z not be maximized? Because z maximum होगा तभी तो x ज्यादा आएगा. Similarly, z maximum होगा तभी तो y maximum आएगा. So for x and y to be maximum, z also has to be maximum. We know that z has to be less than 15. So the maximum value of z is 14. If z is 14, what does this mean? Maximum x will be, z is 14, 14 minus 9, 5. And maximum y, z is 14, y is 13. So what is the maximum value of this particular expression? 2x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 13. 23 is the answer. So इसमें बेसिक चीज यही थी. We want the maximum value of 2x plus y. That means x और y दोनों को maximize करना है. x maximum के लिए z maximum करना है पहले, y maximum के लिए भी z maximum करना है. तो find the maximum value of z, substitute and get the answer from there. The smallest integer n, for which 4 to the power n has to be greater than 17 to the power 19, is closest to which of the following? Okay. Now, people typically start wondering how to calculate this. The idea is not to calculate. अगर आप calculate कर रहे हो तो most probably you have not understood the question. Calc does not require calculation, is what you need to remember by and large. Okay. Now let's look at each of them. We have 4 to the power n and 17 to the power 19. Okay. 4 की power क्या होगी? 4 square 16, 4 cube 64. 16 seems to be a number which is close to 17. So let's look at that. So if I say this is 4 square raised to power n by 2, यहाँ पे 16 to power n by 2 and यहाँ पे 17 to power 19 है. Okay. Now if I make this n equal to, if I say n by 2 और 19 को compare करो, अगर मैं n को 38 कर देता हूँ, look at the choices 33, 35, 37, 39. Why 38? Because यहाँ पे power 19 है तो मैं यहाँ पे भी 19 करना चाहता हूँ. 16 to power 19 and 17 to power 19. Look at both these powers. Obviously this will be less. Okay, 16 to power 19 will be less than 17 to power 19. इसका क्या मतलब हुआ? When n is equal to 38, okay, n equal to 38 पे क्या होता है? 4 to power n will be less than 17 to power 19. ठीक है ना? At n equal to 38. What does that mean? This means my answer n has to be definitely greater than 38. Any choice that is less than 38 is wrong. ये तो नहीं हो सकता, ये नहीं हो सकता, ये नहीं हो सकता, ये होगा आंसर. Is 39 the answer? Obviously, 3 choices gone. What is left at the end? What is going to be left has to be the answer. So remember, we are always eliminating, or not always, but most of the time we try to eliminate. यहाँ पे सामने दिख रहा है at n equal to 38, you get 16 to the power 19 and 17 to the power 19. And 16 to the power 19 is obviously less than 17 to the power 19. लेकिन हमको तो left hand side has to be greater. That means n by 2, if it is 19, that means n is 38. So my requirement for left hand side to be greater is n has to be greater than 38. The smallest integer n such that n cube minus 11n square plus 32n minus 28 is greater than 0 is what? Okay. दो तरीके करने के, एक तो नंबर l की वैल्यू डालते जाओ and फाइंड कर लो, ठीक है. But and start with, since it's talking about smallest integer n की वैल्यू डालना शुरू कर दो, 0, 1, 2, 3, you'll get it somewhere, okay. But that is something in which is going to take time, and it could be time consuming also because you have an n cube also and it's a big equation. A better way would be to factorize this equation. इसके roots निकाल लो क्या है. If I can say this is n minus a, क्योंकि cubic है, into n minus b into n minus c equal to 0 कर देता हूँ. Supposing is not greater than, I'm saying this is equal to 0. What would that mean? This would mean the roots are at a, b and c. That means it will be positive at one number higher. मेरे को वही चेक करना है, तो मेरे को काम क्या है, इसके पहले रूट्स निकालने हैं. Since this has to be greater than 0, first I'll find the roots and then say more than that has to be the value, and वहाँ पे चेक भी कर लेंगे. अब रूट्स कैसे निकालें? Now what we need to remember, if I have this equation ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d equal to 0, what is the sum of roots? Minus b upon a. Product of roots minus plus minus d upon a. And what is c upon a? It is sum of roots taken 2 at a time. क्या मतलब? If the roots are, let's say, alpha, beta, alpha, okay, roots are x1, x2, x3. So क्या हो गया? x1, x2 plus x1, x3 plus x2, x3. ठीक है? This is nothing but sum of roots taken 2 at a time. This is sum of roots, product of roots, sum of roots. इसको use करके Hittite-12 से निकालेंगे ना. Now when I'm looking at this, what is the sum of roots? The sum of roots is minus b upon a, 11. What is product of roots? Minus plus minus, so 28. Minus 28, minus of minus 28 upon 1. And what is sum of roots taken 2 at a time? 32. So what will I do? I will do by Hittite-12, get the roots. Okay. Now चलते हैं. If the product of roots is 28, क्या क्या हो सकता है? Let's look at 1. 28, 1, 1. यही हो सकते हैं ना? But if I say 28, 1, 1, sum 11 तो नहीं आएगा ना? So that means 28 वाला नहीं हो सकता. So just start factorizing the constant term and वहाँ से cases check करो based on these two. Okay, so 28, 1, 1 नहीं हो सकता root is the first thing that I would want to say. So let me start doing that. Let me start with 1, 1, 28 incorrect. Okay, again minus 1 and 28 होगा या 28 minus तब भी नहीं आएगा. You will not get 11. Okay, so 28 is gone. What about the next one? 14 to the 28. So 1, 2, 14. Okay, 14 into 2, 28. But the sum has to be 11. So if I say 14, yeah. This will be fine. 14 minus 2 minus 1. The sum becomes 11. So sum of roots is getting tallied. So sum इसमें सही आ गया. Product तो हमने ले ही लिया है. And what do we need to check? First two. Sum of roots taken 2 at a time. Sum of roots taken 2 at a time will be 14 into minus 1 is minus 14. 14 into minus 2 is minus 28. And minus 2 into minus 1 is plus 2. Will this be equal to 11? Sorry, 32? No. This will not be equal to 32. This is minus 42 plus 2 minus 40. We want 32. So this case is also incorrect. Okay. These are simple calculations you can do. So it should not be a problem. Third case 1, 2 हो गया. अब क्या है? 1, 4, 7 देख लेते हैं. Okay. Anyway, you can get the sum of roots of 11. 7, so 11 minus plus 1, 12. Okay. 7, 4, 1 is 12. If I do 7 minus 4 minus 1, again I will not get. If I do minus 7 minus 4, 1 नहीं आएगा. So this case is gone because sum of roots 11 आ ही नहीं रहा मेरा इसके अंदर. So 1 के साथ कुछ और नहीं हो सकता. So I started the first root being 1, second and third के साथ खेल गया. अब 1 तो नहीं हो सकता. Okay, so let's say 2. Okay, if I take 2, what's the next case then? 2 into 2 into 7, sum is equal to 11, so it is satisfying. Satisfies the sum. What about sum of roots taken 2 at a time, which should be 32? Check करते हैं. 7 into 2 14, 7 into 2 14, 2 into 2 4, 32. Satisfied. So what are my roots? 2, 2 and 7. So my roots are nothing but 2, 2 and 7. So I can say this equation is nothing but n minus 2 into n minus 2 into n minus 7. This has to be greater than 0. Okay. Okay. So कहाँ पे देखोगे? So this becomes n minus 2 whole square into n minus 7 has to be greater than 0. Obviously 2 और 7 पे तो नहीं आएगा ना. n equal to 3 since we are looking for smallest integer. चेक करना चाहो तो n equal to 3 पे भी चेक कर सकते हो. But n equal to 3, what does that mean? This is 1 and this is going to be negative. That means it will be less than 0. Because if n is between 2 and 7, ये तो positive है, but this is negative. In any case, ये perfect square है तो मुझे problem नहीं है. But this is, so what is this telling you? For this to be positive, n should be greater than 7. For this expression to be positive, अगर आप ध्यान से देखोगे, there is n minus 2 whole square, so this will always be positive. When will this product be positive? When n has to be greater than 7. What is the smallest value of n which is greater than 7? 8. So n equal to 8 पे क्या आएगा आपका? This becomes n minus 2 is 6, 6 square into 1, which is equal to 36, which is greater than 0. So what is the smallest value of this integer n? The smallest integer n is going to be 8. Okay, this is the answer. So इसका जुगाड़ जो है वो ये है भाई, please don't do anything. You use the product of roots and sum of roots. Using the product of roots, factorize, check with respect to the sum of roots. ये भी सही आ जाता है तो sum of roots taken 2 at a time से check करो. And there's a systematic process that you have to do. If a and b are integers such that 2x square minus ax plus 2, 2x square minus ax plus 2 is greater than 0 and x square minus bx plus 8 is greater than equal to 0 for all real numbers x. Okay. Then the largest possible value of this, we want the maximum possible value of this. Okay. Now, ये तो सबको दिख गया होगा. In fact, बहुतों को दिख गया होगा. What are these parabolas? These are upward parabolas. Okay. Now let us look at the first one. If this has to be greater than 0, that means it will not be cutting the x-axis. Okay. If it is not cutting the x-axis, what does that mean? You will not have any. You will not have any real roots. So if you have to have imaginary roots, when will that happen? अगर real roots नहीं है, इसके imaginary roots आएंगे, because it is not cutting the x-axis. Imaginary roots का क्या मतलब हुआ? Discriminant has to be less than 0. And what is discriminant? B square minus 4ac has to be less than 0. If your equation is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, then this is your discriminant and this has to be b square minus 4ac has to be less than 0. Yeah, b square has to be less than 4. So b square has to be less than 4ac. Okay. So the middle term ka square has to be less than product of the other two. Okay. So इसमें यही करना है, and the same thing will be true for the second equation also. Okay. Same thing will be true for second equation also. So देख लेते हैं इसमें. Okay. So first equation, let's say d1, discriminant minus a whole square should be less than 4 into 2 into 2. 4 into 2, 8 into 2, 16. Okay. Okay. I'll just write down the complete thing. 4 into 2 into 2. Okay. So which is nothing but a square has to be less than 16. So a has to be minus 4 less than a less than 4. Okay. We want the largest possible value of this expression. अगर मेरे को largest possible value चाहिए, so I'll look at maximum value of a. Maximum value of a will be equal to 3. So मेरे लिए क्या हो गया ये 2 into 3 हो जाता है पहली चीज. Okay, let me write it down this in another color. Okay. So this is 2 into 3 because maximum value of a is equal to 3. अब यही चीज दूसरे में करते हैं. Okay. What does it say? Coefficient of x is minus b, so again minus b square should be less than 4 into 8 into 1, 32. So b square should be less than 32. इसका क्या मतलब हुआ? -5 less than b less than equal to b less than equal to 5. क्यों? Because if b is 6, this becomes 36. But b square है तो maximum value of b can only be 5. Okay? Now I want this expression to be maximum. ये वाला एक्सप्रेशन मैक्सिमम करना है ना, सो व्हाट शुड आई डू? b की वैल्यू मिनिमम नेगेटिव यानी नेगेटिव ले लो. व्हाट इज द व्हेन विल आई गेट दिस एज अ मैक्सिमम प्रोडक्ट? व्हेन b इज इक्वल टू -5. सो b इक्वल टू -5. सो इफ b इज इक्वल टू -5, व्हाट डज दिस बिकम? -6 into -5. ओके, सो 2 into 3 6, so this becomes plus 36. So the maximum product will be 36. And this is what we have to do. The only thing which you need to remember इसके अंदर is कि भैया ये जो है इनमें real roots नहीं है, imaginary roots हैं, because the roots are imaginary, so the discriminant has to be less than 0 in both the cases. Based on that, we have found the maximum value of a. Why maximum value of a? Because we want to maximize this expression. So a जितना बड़ा positive होगा उतना अच्छा है. B should be as big as possible in magnitude, but with a negative sign. So the maximum possible magnitude was 5, with a negative sign is -5. So -5 is B and A has to be 3. For how many integers n will this inequality be satisfied? Okay. Simplify. 3 इक्वेशन दिखते हैं और 3 ब्रैकेट दिखते हैं, डायना नहीं है. जस्ट ब्रेक इट फर्दर. व्हाट इज दिस? n-5 into n-10 into -3 into n-2. This has to be less than equal to 0. Okay? कोई बात नहीं, मल्टीप्लाई करके देख लो. Let's solve this thing. n into n square, -5n, -10n, so -15n. Right? -5 into -10 plus 50. So it is not difficult, is all I want to tell you. -3n, -3 into -2 plus 6. Okay. So what does this become? n square. -15 minus 3 is -18n. Plus 50 plus 6 is plus 56. Has to be less than equal to 0. Okay. So the equation we have now is n square plus 18n plus 50 minus 18n plus 56 is less than 0. ऊपर लिख लेते हैं. Okay. So we have n square minus 18n plus 56 has to be less than or equal to 0. Okay. Now it's a regular quadratic equation को कर लेंगे ना. 56 is 14 into 4 and minus 18 will be, okay, minus 14 minus 4. So I can say there is nothing but n minus 4 into n minus 14 should be less than equal to 0. Okay. Okay. What does that mean? n कहाँ पे होगा? n will lie between 4 and 14. Okay. So it is equality. So sorry, equal to. Less than equal to है ना? So how many values of n are possible? From 4 up to 14. How many values are there? 11 values. Okay. So the values of n which are possible are 11 from 4 to 14. ये खाली इस तरह से डराने के लिए दिया जाता है, so that you get confused and leave. Just try to simplify, convert into quadratic. ये दिखना चाहिए, this is a quadratic. So it will give me a quadratic, and this is going to be a constant term and a coefficient of n of power 1. So I will get a simple equation, which is what happened out here.